Every year, the Canadian Car and SUV of the Year award is decided on by the Automobile Journalist Association of Canada, or AJAC, at their annual TestFest. TestFest is 5 days, and once again, it's being held at the Niagara Regional Airport, just minutes from Niagara Falls. There are 84 journalists from across Canada that will be test driving over 60 brand new models. The Toronto Star is Canada's largest and oldest wheel section. We'll be following their writers as they cover each and every category.
TestFest is when the members of the Automobile Journalists Association of Canada, or AJAC, get together in a central location here at Niagara-on-the-Lake, and we look at the cars that are new for 2013 or substantially changed. We drive them in categories back to back, all on the same day, and then we rate them, pick the ones that we think are the best, and rate all of them on a wide variety of parameters.
I'm covering this for the Toronto Star Wheels section, and it's very important because it's relevant testing for the consumer. It's not just exotic cars, it's the cars that typical buyers can afford and stuff that they need to know, how the cars are going to handle on everyday driving, on everyday roads.
This is pretty important to the Toronto Star because every year we do a special section that comes out on a Thursday that will have all of the writers, so we're covering every category, and it's going to be a big comprehensive section for consumers to read and see what's out there for this year, and if they want to buy something, it's a good place to start to look.
The TestFest program is considered by many to be one of the most stringent and factual automotive testing programs in the world. Journalists do have a very specific routine that we have to follow to ensure that we get every car throughout the same driving process.
Well, we have to drive each one for a minimum of 30 minutes. We take them out on public roads, on the highway, on the rural back streets.
As we drive the vehicle, we'll evaluate how comfortable the inside of the vehicle is and how quiet it is, what the ride is like, what the ride's like compared to the other vehicles in its class. We return to the test facility. We go out on a handling course and evaluate the steering and the suspension and the brakes to see just how a car will handle in an emergency condition. That's probably one of the most important things we do, is because most consumers never put their car into that situation until they absolutely have to.
Now, you might be thinking that getting into brand new shiny cars and testing them on the track and on the road for an entire week would be a fun and cushy job, but it might just be harder than you think.
Certainly not all fun and games, and we are assigned by AJAC to do certain categories. So I've been assigned to do CUVs and SUVs under $35K and Prestige Performance over $75,000. So I have to test those cars, I have to review them, and I also have assignments from my other outlets as well. So it's a very involved process, and we're busy, and it's pretty serious. You know, we don't mess around, and it's very comprehensive. Like, every aspect of the car is looked at and analyzed.
So far I have tested about 30 cars and probably another dozen to go before I'm done here.
Over the course of the week, I'll probably be testing between 20 and 30 cars. And usually you're out between half hour and 45 minutes in each car. So it's pretty extensive.
On Monday, there was a total of, I think, 715 test drives by journalists in the cars on hand, and it's really an incredible amount of testing that goes on in this week.
The big thing to remember is that even though we are going to crown a #1 car of the year and utility vehicle of the year, there's far more to it than that. All of the ratings will show up on AJAC's website, which is ajac.ca, AJAC.ca, and it gives all of the ratings for all of the vehicles that we're looking at. So the best car that we pick, the car of the year, is not going to be the car for everyone. And if you go and you look at those ratings, those are what can give you the information to make intelligent decisions when you're test driving cars.